Hey guys, it's Greg, and if you're frustrated with your WordPress.com blog, maybe you've even tried to set up self-hosted WordPress.org and found it to be too much work, or if you've looked at this crazy tough process called migration, whatever your case is, I think this is the video for you because this is WordPress.com to WordPress.org migration made easier for beginners. In this video, we'll move a real blog from WordPress.com to WordPress.org. We're going to do the full export-import process of all your content and dress up the new blog with themes, plugins, and all sorts of other fun stuff so that by the end of this tutorial, you can feel confident logging into your own self-hosted WordPress blog each morning and creating that signature content that your audience had come to love. Alright guys, enough chit chat. If you're ready to convert a WordPress.com blog to a WordPress.org blog, I'm ready to. Grab all of your content and your computers and let's hop over to the tutorial. Don't forget to grab a coffee for the journey and let's get started and learn how to do WordPress.com to WordPress.org migration. Alright, let's do it. Alright, so the first step in our little migration journey here is just to visit WordPress.com, obviously, and then we can click Login. Once you've logged into WordPress.com, make sure you're on the right blog. I'm going to click My Sites, Switch Site, and choose the blog that I made specifically to migrate for you guys. Alright, and now let's check it out and do a little tour so we can see what content we're going to learn how to migrate together. View site and that little open arrow. So I've made this blog for you guys using the really cool 2017 WordPress.com theme, not to be confused with the WordPress.org 2017 theme. And it's got some cool stuff like a menu. It's got a blog post, which is an ultimate guide. And it's got a blog post, which is a welcome post. And an image, which is also called media. It's got a first blog post that it came with. I think that's kind of cute, so I kept it. It also has some widgets like recent posts, navigation menu, some social buttons in the footer, and a copyright. And then some pretty darn powerful content in the sidebar, which WordPress.com helps us make nowadays, like a Facebook like box, a follow button, and this video embed. This stuff is actually really cool. I didn't realize WordPress.com could set this up really easily for us with the Facebook like box, but nowadays it can, so live and learn. We also have a title and a subheader below it, as well as, of course, this huge banner image with the cactus. Baby cactus. If we click to our pages, we can see we have a standard about page, a contact page with a contact form from WordPress.com. So we're going to try to migrate all of this. WordPress.com made this contact form easy, so we'll see if it's just as easy at WordPress.org. And testimonials. We have one testimonial from the legendary Oprah. We're going to migrate this too, along with the image of Oprah. And that should do it. Alright, so I've tried to include everything that we'll get to choose to migrate, which are blog posts, pages, testimonials, media, and lastly, feedback. So I couldn't include feedback. I had no idea where to add feedback in WordPress.com. But if your blog has some of that nice feedback that you get when you're writing a blog post, like I'm about to, and you share the post to your editor or your friends and they give feedback before you publish it, if you have that, then we're going to bring that along as well. And I'd love, by the way, to know where to write in that feedback if you know how to do it. Alright, so let's go back. And we can actually add some feedback of our own in the form of just a comment. So this ultimate guide on moving WordPress doesn't have these things like a 10-step checklist, a video demo yet, because that's all stuff that we can easily create in WordPress.org. Alright, and because I was a little bit lazy when I made this. But we're going to comment, we're going to say that we want that stuff, and then we're going to take the comment along as well. Great, so there's our feedback. And now we're going to go up, and we're also going to take the search bar. I forgot that. We're going to take that. And at the bottom, we can see this post has some share statistics. It's been shared 4 times right now, which just includes a comment, a like, and some Facebook shares on a Facebook page. One thing all the other guides on how to move WordPress.com to WordPress.org and migrate have not covered is how to take your social statistics along with you, your hard-earned social stats from years or months or whatever of blogging. In this guide, we're going to try to take those social stats with you, which brings me to my next point, which are your domain names. If you have a domain name without the .wordpress in it, it's going to be easier to take those social stats along with you, because when someone likes a blog post or +1s it or tweets it, those stats are stored on a URL. So in this case, they're stored on this entire URL. And when we change this to look like that on the new site, it's not going to know about those stats anymore, because the way the web works, they're just stored on an exact URL. URL, of course, is just another word for link. So it's a little bit harder to take your social stats with you if you've been blogging on WordPress.com with that subdomain. But we're still going to try, all right? Because if you've watched any of our other videos, when we want to do something, we're fully willing to go diehard, apeshit, MacGyver, commando on the whole operation until it gets done, no matter how small or large your issue is. So of course, we'll cover how to migrate with a custom URL without the .wordpress.com in it, and also how to migrate from a subdomain, which is just what WordPress.com gives you. And hopefully it should be a lot of fun. So now that we've done that little tour of the blog we're going to migrate, let's go ahead and look at the steps we need to take to complete our WordPress migration today. So the first step we need to do to migrate WordPress is just to export content from WordPress.com blog. This is a step that many other guides, both written and video, will cover online. It's super easy. You just need to click a couple buttons, and so of course we're going to do that step. Next, we're going to set up your new custom domain. So if you've already bought a domain name through WordPress.com, it'll work fine. We're just going to edit one little piece of information at WordPress.com to make it work. If you already bought a domain name from GoDaddy, for example, that you want to use, it'll also work just fine. But in case you don't have one at all, we're going to go ahead and buy a new domain name from GoDaddy. Once we have our domain name, we're going to get web hosting. And this is also known as getting self-hosting or making self-hosted WordPress, learning how to set up self-hosted WordPress, whatever you want to call it. It's not complicated and it's not hard at all. Even though people talk about getting your own server, and it sounds like you're going to have to connect a bunch of wires in your living room between the coffee machine and the toaster and the microwave just to be able to log into your website, you don't have to do any of this. It's actually a lot like just setting up WordPress.com. You just press a few buttons on the internet and a blog appears, all right? And when you have me here, you know exactly what buttons to press, and I'm going to show you how to set it all up flawlessly. The reason we need to get web hosting is so that you control and own a little sliver of the web where your new WordPress.org blog is going to live. When you control everything there, you can post ads, rank in Google, write and say whatever you want and make a whole business out of it and not have to deal with any of the limitations imposed on you before. It's really nice from personal experience to own a little bit of space on the web. All right, once we get web hosting, we're going to install WordPress.org onto that new domain name and web hosting. That part's really easy. Just do it with one click. Again, you don't need to know any tech stuff. You don't even need to know a lick of code. None of that. After we install WordPress.org, we're going to do the housekeeping steps, which are just to make sure everything is connected perfectly before we start importing your new content and creating a blog or even a website if you want. So that includes connect domain to hosting, which I'll show you how to do in all the scenarios mentioned before, like whether your domain name came from WordPress.com or somewhere else. Whenever you registered it, you'll be just fine. We're also going to look at how to transfer a domain name bought at WordPress.com to a WordPress.org host. So if you bought your domain name through WordPress.com, you can transfer it over. and that way people will see your new WordPress.org website when they visit your domain name, of course. And along those same lines, we're going to talk about redirecting your .wordpress.com subdomain to your new address, aka your domain. All right, so that's pretty fun stuff, as you can clearly see, but we're going to get it done really quickly and clearly, so not to worry. Once that's all taken care of, we can go ahead and import content from WordPress.com blog into WordPress.org blog, and that's really cool. That'll be easy. And then we're going to inspect, all right, with an eagle eye. We're going to look for any errors whatsoever, and then we're going to go ahead and create our blog and enjoy blogging in the future. All right, so it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to learn a lot in this tutorial. We'll try to go as quick as possible. And yeah, so you might be wondering what this all costs. That's really important. When I was starting my first WordPress.org blog, I was really, worried about the costs. I thought I might go broke, and I basically was broke already, living on a couch in Murray Hill in New York City. So yeah, what's it cost? We'll try to keep it on a budget because I've been there just like you. I've literally jumped for joy with every dollar earned from AdSense or from sponsored content, and I know that you're going to want to, save all your dollars you can too. So let's take a look. Exporting content from WordPress.com is free. There's a free tool to do that we'll use. Set up your new custom domain name. All right, we're going to do that at GoDaddy, and we're going to try to get that cost down. You can use any domain name you want, however. So the standard price is just $15 per year, but you can get like a premium domain name if you want, which costs $50 a year or $500 a year. If you're going to try to get a really cool domain name like Google or Twitter, that might be the case, but ours is just going to cost about $15 per year annual cost. Next, we need to get web hosting. All right. So web hosting, we're going to get at HostGator.com, the company I've used to host all my websites and businesses for many, many years now, and I love them. I've never had a problem. Hosting costs about $10 per month, and you need it so that you have a place to store all your stuff, all your content and images, blog posts, stuff like that, and so that you own the space. And yeah, that's just one of those costs that all of us self-hosted WordPress bloggers have to pay for. Now, those two costs, the GoDaddy domain name and the HostGator hosting, are the largest by far two costs in making a self-hosted WordPress blog and in learning how to blog professionally like the big dogs do. So an upfront cost of $25 to set up a professional blog, just like the big blogs you see, like Smart Passive Income, Zoella, Pinch of Yum, ProBlogger, Forbes, any of these massive blogs. And you'll see once you're on WordPress.org, there's plenty of ways to monetize your site and make these costs essentially become zero. The last two things I'll say are that they're actually a tax write-off if you do this for a living. And you might be wondering why we're getting our domain name and our hosting at different locations. I've always recommended having your domain name and your web hosting at separate locations because maybe you want to register more domain names. Well, it's really easy to register one domain name and the hosting together, and you might like the idea of having everything in the same place. But when you register more and more and more domain names, they're going to ask you, like, do you want to make a website with all of them? And you might not. You might just want to register it quickly on the spot. And GoDaddy is the best for that, for quick domain names and for managing multiple domain names. Another reason is that you want specialists. You want someone to give you the best possible services for domain names and the best possible services for hosting, and take really good care and be able to answer any question you want. If I call GoDaddy and ask them a question about hosting, I have to go through a bunch of people just to get the right answer. Whereas at HostGator, there's live people online 24/7 to help out and sit with me and work through any hosting or WordPress question I want. The third reason is security. If someone hacks into one of these two things, you don't want them to have access to the entire operation. If someone hacks into my GoDaddy domain name, they won't be able to touch my website content. And if someone hacks into my HostGator blog, they won't be able to take full control of my domain name and point it to some weird website. So that's my spiel on why you want to get your domain name and your hosting at different locations, or you could just take my word for it. Another thing you could take from me is coupons. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to use a HostGator coupon called BigBonus to get 50% off at HostGator on your web hosting. That's the biggest deal available, and if it works, I'll be really happy. You can, of course, try out that coupon. It's just one word, BigBonus. And at GoDaddy, we're going to look up some coupons at Fat Wallet. They usually have working coupons to get a domain name for like well under $15 a year. So, depending on when you do this, I hope these coupons work for you, and I'm pretty confident that we'll be able to get at least some sort of discount here. Let's finish off those costs here before we proceed. So we're going to install WordPress.org, which thankfully is free. That'll feel really nice after we pay for our hosting and domain name. The housekeeping stuff is free because you have me here to help you do it. However, if you got WordPress.com to do this migration for you, they would charge, I think, $100, maybe more now. So definitely don't do that. Going forward, importing content is free. Inspecting is free, and creating our blog is going to be, of course, free and a lot of fun. All right, so if that looks like a good deal to you, I think it's a really good deal as well. We're going to spend under $25 today to migrate and create a new professional blog. All right, so really pumped. All right, guys, so now that that is all said and done, let's go ahead and jump into step 1, which is going to be export content from WordPress.com blog, and then we'll proceed with step 2 and so on. All right, sorry I didn't do that before. To export your blog and all of its content, it's really easy. Just click back to the My Sites area, and then you're going to want to click on WP Admin, this link at the bottom. Now we'll be in this little WordPress dashboard area that actually looks a lot like your WordPress.org dashboard will look like, except for all the links will work entirely in WordPress.org. And we just want to go ahead and click on Tools. Once you click Tools, you can click on the Export button. And now we're going to focus on the free export box here on the left where it says free. And we're going to create this XML file containing all of our stuff and save it to a good place before we import it. As it says, this is perfect for people who are moving to a new blog and feel comfortable wrangling the migration. That's us. So let's click Start Export. Now it's going to ask us choose what to export, and for the sake of simplicity, we'll just click All Content. Now our blog only includes posts, pages, testimonials, and media. But if you have specific questions about exporting projects, order, product, or feedback, then do let me know in the comments and I'll help out. For now, make sure to check all content and let's just download that export file. Alright, now we can just change the name, and once we're done with that, just click Save and make sure it says XML text right here. Alright, now that our blog XML file is downloaded, we're actually done with step 1, and that didn't change anything on our site for that matter. You can still visit your old blog and there'll still be readers on it. You can still create content if you want just after step 1. We haven't changed or destroyed anything. The sky, in fact, did not fall. Let's take a look at our steps though and go ahead and cross off number 1. That step is done. Woohoo! Congrats for making progress. Next up, it's time to set up your new custom domain name, and if you already have a domain name from WordPress.com or somewhere else, you can go ahead and skip ahead in the video to step 3. I'll give you complete links to all these steps in the timestamps below the video in the YouTube description. And if you do skip ahead to step 3, the steps will remain in the same order going forward. You'll just tell the web host that you choose, like HostGator, about your new domain name. They'll set up a hosting account for you with that new domain name. Then you can go ahead and install WordPress.org. And then once you do that, you can do the housekeeping and connect everything. All right, so feel free to jump around or just listen to me blather onwards. So let's head over to GoDaddy and do step 2. This part's really fun. I love finding new domain names, whether it's for my mom, my girlfriend, or my friends, the few of them I have after sitting at the computer for so long. And I'd love to help you pick a new domain name because it helps me relive the magic of starting a new blog. So just let me know in the comments if you're having some trouble finding the most clever domain name possible. In our case, I'm just going to go with something pretty straightforward, learn how to migrate, and I'm going to put a bunch of migration videos like our Blogger to WordPress video on this site once it's all done. So we got a pretty good game plan here. If you can't find the right domain name, it's a good idea to get yourname.com so you control where that goes, or just to pick something as simple and brief as possible. By the way, once we do our migration, WordPress won't care what your domain name is. That is to say that if we migrate this domain name to something like random domain awesome, then it'll actually put our blog posts on this domain name. Anything after the .com here, like the blog post right here, will just be migrated over to this domain name .com, and the blog post will go right after it. All right, so the domain names do not have to be exactly matching to make the migration itself work and to move your content from WordPress.com to WordPress.org. It just looks really good if you can make your domain name be the same minus the WordPress part, and it'll obviously help your users understand what's going on when they see something familiar and not something random. Once you find the right domain name, go ahead and click Add to Cart. And now we can just continue to cart. Now we can click No Thanks right here and scroll down to the bottom and continue with these options. I already have a GoDaddy account and a few domain names with them, but you might need to set up a new GoDaddy account. Don't worry, it's really easy and it's free to set up the account. We're going to go ahead and change the term to 1 year because I'm not so sure about this business quite yet, although you might be able to get the price down if you choose a longer time period like 2 years. Next up, just make sure it's only the domain name we're paying for here. We don't want to donate to any causes we don't know about or add any features that we don't know about either. You can always get those later on. So we're looking pretty good already thanks to GoDaddy offering us this discounted rate of $8.47, which is less than $15 a year, but let's try to do one better. Now it's time to look for our first coupon. So let's go to Fat Wallet and we can just search. Nope, that didn't work. Let's look up. All right, well, I don't really care because we just already saved money with them in the past, and yeah, I think we ended up winning that one. So let's look up GoDaddy coupons. That's going to take us to probably Retail Me Not. And that's great. So maybe this would work. Let's click Show Coupon Code at Retail Me Not. And let's try to copy this coupon code. Click Add at GoDaddy. Paste it in and click Apply and cross your fingers. And I don't think that worked. That didn't work. All right, bummer. We can try this one though. Copy. So you might just need to try some coupons until one of them works. Sorry about Fat Wallet not working. It is sad to see them go. We've used them in past tutorials, and I'm not sure, what the deal is there, but can't control everything on the internet. Alright, after wasting far too much time looking for GoDaddy coupons, it looks like your best bet is this coupon right here, which says CJCRMN99U. Because of this red error, I've already used the Terra promotion, but if you have not, then there's a greater chance that it'll work for you and save you some more money and lower this $8.47 price. So really good luck with that. Do let us know in the comments what GoDaddy coupons work for you so that other people can save too. Thanks so much in advance. I'm out of luck though, so I'm just going to remove this coupon and proceed to checkout with my GoDaddy domain name. Alright, so again, you might need to create an account. It's really quick. Go ahead and do that quickly and get it out of the way. Everyone needs a GoDaddy account, and once you're on a screen like this for billing and payment, and you've entered in your billing information, inserted the right payment information like your credit card, for example, then it's time to finally place our order. All right, so let's do it. Let's click the orange Place Your Order button. All right, and we're good. We just bought our domain name. Hopefully I didn't mess up or pay too much. Order total, order date, order number, all looks good. And we can open up our friendly checklist here and cross off step number 2 because we set up our new custom domain name and we got it pretty good as a deal. We got it under $15 a year, so we're feeling good. All right, now we're on step 3, get web hosting, and it's time to learn how to make a self-hosted WordPress blog on your own and install WordPress after that. So we first need to get our web hosting, and to do that, we can go to my web host of choice called HostGator. And I'll save you a few clicks. You can actually just visit hostgator.com/Greg and hit enter. And what that'll do is take you to the right page and take you to the cheapest web hosting package possible that lets you set up WordPress.org. So HostGator comes with a lot of different advanced deluxe packages for different companies, big companies, you name it. But we just want to use the cheapest version, which is what I started with when I first did this. So it'll say, welcome dear blogger visitors, that's my blog, and some reasons why HostGator might be a good choice for you. So they host over 2 million domains, hundreds of drag and drop templates, AdSense and analytics ready. You can pretty much read the rest on your own. But what I will say is that I could choose any number of hosts myself. I work on different client websites all the time, and I log into different web hosts that people decided to use to help them fix things, make a website, transfer a website, do all this stuff. And when I first started making client websites, I thought it was all really difficult and confusing, but then I realized it was just them. And I won't name them, but these other web hosts that my clients had chosen made things just a little bit too hard and didn't seem like they had made their site with me in mind. With HostGator, I've never had any of those problems. I've learned how to make a blog easily, and I've stayed with them for almost 10 years now. So I really like them. Whenever I have a question, you can click on the live chat button and talk with a real person. I like HostGator so much they even sent me out to their office in Austin, Texas to visit, and I got to meet some of their team members and go out to free dinners and do all sorts of nice stuff like that. And it's just proof that they're real people. So speaking of real people and getting help from HostGator, I'm actually going to insert a little video from my friend Chris at HostGator right now. He doesn't know I'm doing this, but that way you guys can meet them too. So check it out. Okay, I think that's enough gushing about how much I love HostGator. Let's go ahead and proceed with the tutorial. Sorry about that, Chris. And we're going to go ahead and just click the yellow Get Started Now button. All right. Of course, let me know any questions you have about HostGator or about web hosting in general. All right, so now we're in the HostGator customer portal, HostGator order form. You're in the right place, and it's time to proceed with step 1. This stuff is all really easy and straightforward, but I'll walk you through from top to bottom. So in step 1, it's time to register a new domain name if you need one, but we don't, so we can click I already own this domain. And we could just enter in our domain name we got at GoDaddy or WordPress or wherever you got it. And then just click off that box and it'll add your domain name, and you won't pay HostGator anything for it, of course. Just make sure you only have the .com checked in. And if it asks for domain privacy protection, uncheck that. Next, we can move on to step 2, and it's time to choose our package type. This is really important. Just know that the Hatchling plan is the cheapest plan available to new people starting a WordPress blog, WordPress.org blog, of course. So that's what I went with when I first started using WordPress.org. For a billing cycle, you'll notice that the price will go down if you choose the 36-month option. That gets you the largest discount of 57% off, which is something to consider. Additionally, it'll go down incrementally from 12 months to 24 months in the monthly cost. And that's just the beauty of prepaying for anything in life if you can afford it or if you want to. In our case, I just want to go with the 1 month option because I don't like getting locked in. I like making decisions as I go, and that's also a really good affordable price. I'm going to type in a username and a security pin. All right, now we're doing step 2. We can go to step 3. We're going to enter your billing info just like you would for any major purchase online, like at Apple, Amazon, eBay, Netflix, Airbnb, wherever you like shopping. It's just like that. HostGator is a massive company and all of this is 100% secure. You can then choose whether you want to pay by credit card or by PayPal. It's totally up to you. I just prefer the credit card so that I can get those points. When you scroll down, it's time to add additional services. We're all done now with steps 1, 2, and 3. And really all we want to do in step 4 is just unadd additional services. You can always get these later on, but we're on a budget right now. In step 5, it's really important to enter the right coupon code. So because we clicked my HostGator.com/Greg link, the right coupon code is already entered and it just says BigBonus. If it says BigBonus in lowercase, that's fine. But if it says anything else, you're going to want to try entering in BigBonus, which will get you the largest discount possible at the time. All right, and then once you do that, click Validate. Clicking Validate just makes sure that the coupon will be working, and we can see our discount now down below of $5.48, which is 50% of the hosting cost right here, that $10.95. And HostGator even gave us that extra penny as a discount. So that's pretty cool. The amount due is only $5.47. This is my coupon, so if you use this coupon or my HostGator.com/Greg link, then you'll be supporting me as well as saving a larger amount on your hosting than would be otherwise possible. Thank you so much. This really helps me keep making more free tutorials for everyone. And if you have any questions about another host or another coupon you've heard about, hit me up on Facebook and I'm happy to walk you through it or help you go a different route if you choose. All right, so thanks so much again. All right, now that you have a working coupon and you've hit validate and you're getting your discount, go ahead and review order details in step 6. You get your 24/7, 365 phone, live chat, email support for free, of course. Instant account activation is free, so they'll set up your account right away for you and we can go right ahead and install WordPress.org. Money back guarantee is good for 45 days if you change your mind, and we get our Hatchling plan for 1 month for $5.47. If your total is different or if you made any other different decisions about how long you're registering for or the package type, that's fine. Again, let me know any questions in the comments. I'm always here to help. All right, with that said, go ahead and check this little box right here. And now it's time to finally register our hosting and complete registration by clicking Checkout Now. So let's do it. Congratulations and welcome to the HostGator family. When you see this screen, it's now time to check our inboxes. And we can come play around in the HostGator customer portal later on. So here we are in our email inbox now. Please excuse the mess. And I just wanted to show you how to get back to that HostGator Welcome to the Family page, which is also the HostGator billing portal where we're going to install WordPress. Because probably about 30% of people who watch our tutorials close that page and don't know how to get back there. And you do it through your email with these 2 emails. Before we do that, we're going to go ahead and cross off step 3. You are done getting your web hosting. Great job. Leroy the cat says congratulations. So now it's time to just install WordPress.org. Again, hosting is done, domain is done, export is done. We're making some amazing progress here. We'll edit that out. On the other hand, you could check out Leroy's channel. So to do step 4 and install your very own copy of WordPress.org, follow me back to your email and we're going to get back to that HostGator customer portal. To do so, just click on your email from billing. And if you didn't get these, just check your spam folder. And if they're not in your spam folder, wait 2 to 5 minutes If that still doesn't work, which it definitely should 99% of the time, go ahead and contact me in the comments and I'll help you get that email from HostGator directly. All right, open up billing, and now we can just click on the link that says HostGator billing portal right here. Great job, and now you just need to log in. So to do the login, you're gonna get the email that it was sent to right here, which is your login name, email address, and your password from this email. Pretty simple. I actually changed mine over time, and that was an older email we're just using as an example. So this is how I'm gonna do it. Log in, loading your customer portal. Great job, and once we're here, you can check out your account summary and see the packages that you ordered. We can see I have a lot of packages. I've used HostGator for a really long time and trust them 115%. You can also change your profile, and you can check out other things like support, domains, marketing. That's a new one, I think. But for now, we just want to go to hosting. And once you're here with me in hosting, scroll down and we're going to click on this little button that says Launch Quick Install right here. Once you're here, just scroll down and click on this little box that says WordPress. You can click anywhere on the box. Make sure it says free. Once you're here, it's time to select your domain for installation. So just click on this drop-down box and go ahead and find your domain. We can see I have several domain names because for some reason people trusted me to build their websites. It's a little bit harder to find them. I could totally use someone to help me manage these if you're interested. But just an example of what you can do here once you run your own hosting space. All right, there she is. Choose it, and we're gonna have to cut out that section taking like 5 minutes to find it. Leave your directory box blank right there, and then it's time to just click next. So make sure to leave this box blank. And we're not gonna let a pro do it for you. We're not gonna fall for that. This is really easy, but you know, more money we're saving. Click next. Now on this page, just enter in some basic info, which you can change later. Blog title, WordPress migration blog should be good. Admin user, you actually can't change your admin user later, but you can add new ones. So go with something serious that you're gonna like typing in every day. And once you fill out the rest of the blanks, it's really easy to install WordPress. You don't need to know any code or techie stuff, despite what you might have heard. Just make sure you get that email in there correctly because WordPress will email you your login details. All right, once your screen looks good, go ahead and check this box right here. And now it's time to do perhaps the most important step of all and install your copy of WordPress. So brace yourselves, hold on tight, and let's do it. Just click on the install button. All right, fantastic work, guys and gals. So your installation is complete. That only took about 10 or 15 seconds. It went successfully, so we did it right. What you don't want to do now is click on this link though, because your website probably won't be ready. What you should do is just copy this information, and we're going to put it in a blank notepad or a Word document or something like that. Perfect. All right, so once that's done, just come back to this page. And feel free to leave this HostGator WordPress installation page open. I know a lot of people like doing that as a sign of triumph and progress, you know, that you've done this all the right way so far. But there's not much here, and it won't get messed up if you close it. So we're just gonna close it ourselves. But yeah, again, feel free to leave it open. And we're gonna go back to our notes, and I want to talk about what's going on at your WordPress.com blog and at your WordPress.org blog now. So we just installed WordPress.org on HostGator, but it's at a totally different location now than the WordPress.com stuff. Because it's at a different location, which is HostGator, nothing has changed at your WordPress.com blog at all, regardless of whether you have a custom domain or the .wordpress.com subdomain. We haven't changed anything over there. All we were doing, in fact, was getting your WordPress.org blog ready and setting it up nicely so that we can now start sending people from WordPress.com to WordPress.org, and so that we can log in and start working on the new blog. But again, up until step 4, which is now complete, congratulations by the way, nothing has changed at WordPress.com. All right, so let's make that big change now and do step 5, where we're going to actually connect things. So the first scenario we'll cover is our exact scenario in the tutorial. We have a WordPress.com blog that lives on a subdomain right here, and we also registered our own custom domain. So we just need to connect our custom domain to our hosting, and then we'll migrate. The second scenario is if you have a custom domain, in which case you need to log into WordPress and enter in some HostGator information to make the custom domain connect with our new hosting and our new WordPress.org installation. So I know it sounds kind of confusing, but bear with me, we'll cover both scenarios right now. In our case, I'm just going to log into GoDaddy. All right, so if you bought your domain name through GoDaddy or Namecheap or anywhere like this is what you'll need to do right now. Make sure to log in and then click on your name in the upper right, and then just click on Manage Domains. All right, and we're going to check out all my new business plan ideas here. Just find the domain that we're using here. So it's Learn How to Migrate, and click to enter it. Now just scroll down, and we're going to want to click on the link for Manage DNS right here. And if it looks a little different at GoDaddy, don't worry, just try to find that Manage DNS section. They often change their layout over here to make it better for us. All right, now this stuff looks really confusing, so don't worry about this. You don't have to know this stuff at this point or probably ever, but just come on down and come to name servers. That's where you want to be. And it says right now we're using default name servers. These are GoDaddy name servers, which just means that if you visit the domain name we just registered, howtomigrate.com, you're going to get a GoDaddy page because that wasn't it. Learn how to migrate.com. We are talking about migrating blogs, not countries. So it's just going to be a blank GoDaddy screen right now because this is at GoDaddy and we haven't moved anything yet. It's just like sitting here, which is fine, but we're going to use it right now. So what you need to do is in name servers, click change, and then where it says default, change that to custom. Now head back to your email and you're going to see an email from no reply, HostGator.com, your account info. Open that email up. In this email, you're going to get 2 new name servers from HostGator. So name servers are just pieces of information that connect a domain name to hosting and tell the web a few other useful pieces of information about your website. The most common way to connect a domain name to hosting is to enter in the hosting's name servers at the domain, and that's precisely what we're doing right now. So you want to copy your 2 name servers, which will be different from mine, and then just write them in at GoDaddy. So we can go back to GoDaddy, and my name servers are actually a little bit different now, but you're going to use the ones from that email. All right, and that's just because I'm still using my original HostGator name servers that I registered like 7 years ago or something like that. All right, so once you've entered them in here, go ahead and just click save. And it'll be some format like ns_number.hostgator.com, ns_other_number. Just make sure the first one goes in the top box and the second one goes in the bottom box. And click save. All right, make sure to click that save button and it's going to start updating your records across the web, which can take a little bit of time. Usually about 24 hours, but it can be up to 72 in really rare cases if you're making your website in an area where there's not much internet or not many servers. Shouldn't take that long for your domain to connect to your hosting. In the meanwhile, let's open up our steps, and we're done connecting our domain to our hosting if you bought a domain name from somewhere other than WordPress.com. But we need to cover that domain name that was bought through WordPress.com, which will probably apply to a ton of you. So if that's the case, now it's time to head back to WordPress. All right, and when you're in your WordPress.com dashboard, that is, go ahead and just click on Domains in the lower left. Very good. Now make sure you're on the Domains tab, not the plans or the email, and just click through to your domain name. So if you have that WordPress.com custom domain name, you should see an area to edit the domain name right here. And then you can enter in those HostGator name servers just like we did at GoDaddy. The first one and the second one from your account info email, and then save it at WordPress. What that'll do is create the same effect, and it'll start sending people from your WordPress blog at WordPress.com to the WordPress blog at WordPress.org once they visit your custom domain name. It'll just say, hey, go to this new place instead of go to that old place. It's kind of like taking a flashlight and pointing it from one corner of a dark room, which had a bunch of cool Legos in it, to a different corner of that dark room, which just had a bunch of cool action figures in it. People are just going to start seeing something else, which is your new blog. If I missed a step at WordPress.com, please do let me know in the comments, or let me know if this page looks different or confuses you. I'm certainly not a WordPress.com expert by any means, just an enthusiastic fan. So now that we've transferred your WordPress.com domain name from WordPress.com to our new blog at WordPress.org, we can open up our notes again, and we're officially done with this step, transferring the domain name, as well as the step right before it in our housekeeping, which is connect our GoDaddy domain name to our HostGator hosting. We could also talk now about the redirecting your .wordpress.com subdomain, and we can find information about that from WordPress. It's just called a site redirect. If I could type. And it costs $13 a year. This is important if you want to redirect everyone from your site.wordpress.com to your new domain. It's especially important if those .wordpress.com links are ranking in Google and people click them in Google. You want to take them to the right place, especially if those pages are landing pages or blog posts or any sorts of content that earns you revenue from blogging. If you make blog money through your pages or your posts, you definitely want to pay for this redirection. However, we don't need to do it yet because we haven't even migrated our content yet. We're going to go ahead and need to import to WordPress.org so that when we set up this redirect, which we will do, then people will get redirected to something good and not just nothing. So let's open up that guide again, and let's go ahead and leave this one till a little bit later. So I'm just going to put a little asterisk by it because we haven't done it yet. We need to remember that one. Now we can move on though. We can do step 6, which is import content from WordPress.com into your WordPress.org blog for free. In order for that to work, our domain name and our hosting have to be functioning, which again could take a matter of hours, but I'm feeling confident as per usual, so let's go ahead and just open up that blog and try it out. We can visit our new domain name for the very first time, and we can see we have WordPress.org installed. Lovely. Now this might look like WordPress.com, and I did do that on purpose, just so we have a one-to-one easy comparison between how it looked there and how it looked here. I chose to use the same theme that comes pre-installed on your blog. One little way you can tell the difference between your WordPress.com site and the WordPress.org site, given that they both have the same theme, is this little arrow is white on WordPress.org to go down into the content, and on WordPress.com, which is still here because we haven't moved this subdomain yet. It's in a different location. The difference here is that that arrow is black or gray. Alrighty then, so back to WordPress. Let's go ahead and log in. If you check out your email, again, pardon the mess, you'll get an email from WordPress, which has that nice information from HostGator Marketplace. So URL, admin URL, which is the link to log in, username, and password. You can now click your admin URL and just copy that really goofy password. And remember our username, and let's log into WordPress for the very first time. Remember me, and you might also want to bookmark this link so you have it to log in the future. and log in. Alright, welcome to WordPress, and officially welcome to WordPress.org. So it's going to say what kind of site can we help you with, business, personal, but we don't need help. Alright, we're going to do it ourselves. And you can leave all this stuff as is right now. I mean, if you want, you can close the little notifications, but you're probably going to want to drag stuff and just design your little living room homepage here however you want it later on. So that can all be changed. What I will tell you now is the link to log into your WordPress.org blog is going to be different than it was at WordPress.com. At WordPress.com, we just went to WordPress.com and clicked login. However, now it's going to be your domain name.com/WPadmin. You just type in this little part that I've highlighted right here into your browser, click enter, and if you're logged out, it'll take you to that login screen. Very good. If you click on the button in the upper left that has the home button, it'll take you to the front end of your site. So this is what it looks like to the rest of the world and all your readers and visitors and customers. Pretty cool. And if you click that button again, it'll take you back to the dashboard. That's just how it works when you want to edit or you want to view things. Alright, so let's go ahead and import your content so that you actually have a blog and your visitors start seeing something, especially if you use that custom domain at WordPress.com, because they'll be coming over here already. Alright, so let's do it. And once we do that, we'll write a welcome post just to say what's up to people. And I'll tell you what to say. Alright, so to begin importing your content, follow me down to Tools in the dashboard area. Click Tools, and then we're just going to click Import. Now we're going to scroll down to where it says WordPress and click Install Now. And we're actually going to be installing the WordPress importer plugin when we do this. Now just click Run Importer. Alright, it's going to say, howdy, upload your WordPress extended RSS WXR file, which is exactly what we created in WordPress.com. Alright, and if you didn't export your WordPress.com blog yet, for whatever reason, maybe you just were excited to set up domain and hosting first, just go back to your WordPress.com site, click on WPadmin, come down to Tools, click Tools, then click Export, then choose the free option right here and click Start Export and follow the directions to export all content. Alright, so that's what we did earlier on in the video. In our case, it's now time to just choose the file we want to import. Thankfully, I think they increased the maximum size to 64 megabytes, so your blog hopefully fits that. If it doesn't, you're going to have to import it in 2 chunks, which is okay as well. Everything should still come along fine. So click Choose File. And now we want to find our blog export file. Very good. You can double click it, or I usually like just clicking Open. It grabbed it, so now let's click Upload File and Import. It will give us the option to assign authors now to make it easier for you to edit and save your imported content. You might want to reassign the author. All it says here is if you create a new user, a new password will be randomly generated, and you'll need to go to the Users tab to change their details, which we're not going to do, although I can tell you how to do that. We're actually just going to assign post to an existing user, which is Greg, me, because I don't want to use the name Narai Guy right now. Make sure to also check Download and Import File Attachments, and once you've made your choices here, just click Submit. And this is where the magic really takes place. WordPress is now communicating with your old blog, and it's uploading all of your content into your new blog. Cross your fingers, but I think this should work pretty darn smoothly. Alright, it looks like the import is done. Let's go ahead and close up some of those tabs in our browser, and then we're going to check out our blog in a new window. There's 2 little blips on our radar here. The media placeholder image already exists, and failed to import Oprah. So we're going to tackle those 2 things in case they look like problems that you faced. Let's open up our site in a new tab. And we can check it out. And now we see we have some content. Alright. So we have our first blog post. We also have some stuff in our sidebar, which was actually there before. And we have our other blog post, welcome to your blog migration. We got the image, so the image migrated, that's great. And we got the first blog post, so we got all of our blog posts We got our images, and now we have everything on WordPress.org. We also migrated the formatting, like the way the post was designed. And if we click into our ultimate guide, we can scroll down and we can see we imported the comment too. So all your comments should have worked. All right, but we're not done checking out what happened here. In fact, we need to make sure that the social media imported, those likes and shares we had, and we want to just inspect things from the back end. All right, we're not letting WordPress get away without a good inspection. So let's click back to the dashboard, and let's click media, where all of your images will be. What we have in media is first off the import export file. It's just sitting here. That's great. You don't need it, but I would just leave it here for the time being until we're sure we've migrated successfully. We have the testimony, which is this is Oprah, and that one didn't work, and that's because we don't support testimonials until we install Jetpack. But all the other images, including our little fave icon and the big images, worked great. The fave icon just means if you open up your site, it's what shows up here in the browser tab to let people know what site they're visiting. So we're going to set that up. We can actually set up that icon right away. So let's do that. Follow me and hover on appearance and click customize. Now let's click site identity. And for site icon, select image. Click media library, where all your images will live. Click on the right logo and select it. And save and publish. And if we open our site in a new tab, you'll see we've made our first successful change on WordPress.org. Congratulations. But we're not done here. Let's go back. And what I personally want to do for you guys is to make sure that our WordPress.org homepage looks as close as possible to the WordPress.com homepage so that people don't get confused. But before we do that, if there's any visitors trickling in right now, which there certainly could be checking out your work, you're going to want to write a really quick update post to tell them that you successfully migrated and you're all happy about it and it's for the better. So we're going to go back to our dashboard, click on posts, which will now look a little bit different. You get a list like this and you have more options for editing them. Just going to close the notification there and close the notification there. And now just click add new at the top. Now I usually like calling this post some clever little phrase that people have heard, like maybe out with the old, in with the new. Or you could even look up idioms and quotes about change. And you could click images to get all the different Pinterest quotes people have made. That's so much reading though. Okay, so Pinterest is a little bit too deep today, so we're just gonna go with out with the old, in with the new. We migrated. All right, be really clear with that in the title, and now it's time to just write a little notice. So we'll say, hello, everyone. Start with the bad news. It's always good to start up front. Then we can say, welcome to our new blog. Then just explain your reasoning. People love knowing why you did something, and they're quick to forgive as long as you explain your rationale in moving a blog, because everyone likes bigger and better and improved blogs. We felt limited by the ad guidelines and difficulty ranking in Google. We now want to devote our resources to creating a complete blog as our business, as our main business, and believe WordPress.org is the best choice to do this. Alright, so after you explain yourself, right, and before that you could write something like migration was easy, I was able to do it myself in about 2 hours, learned how to make a self-hosted blog, and learned about how. Then if you really feel like pouring it on, I'd love it if you wrote, I used Greg Ryan's WordPress migration tutorial to learn all the steps to move WordPress. I know very few of you guys will do this or even make it this far, but if you want to do that, I'd love it. And then lastly, just a call to action so you can get some comments on your update post here. Let's write, if you've moved from WordPress, have any ideas on how to use this new mega blogging tool from the future, or are missing any useful articles, let us know in the comments. We'll be here all day to help. All right, so that was a real mouthful, but now you get the picture and you have a great welcome post template that you can use on your own blog. You just need a featured image, then you're ready to publish your first post. So let's head to Pixabay, which I love using for my blog post images. And let's search something like migration and see what we get. All right, so let's scroll down the beautiful free images Pixabay gives us for our blog posts until you find one you like. I'm gonna go with this one, and then you just click free download, pick the size and download. Not a robot. And you could sign up as well, that's a good idea, or you could give back to Pixabay, it's also a good idea. We're gonna call this WordPress migration birds. Save it. Now back in WordPress, we're gonna add that featured image. Just click in the lower right for featured image, set featured image, upload files, select files, and we're gonna open the image that we just downloaded. So this is just how it works on WordPress.org now. If you're used to doing featured images a different way, you'll just have to get used to this way, or maybe you can create your own little custom method over here. Set featured image. All right, let's give this post a category like updates and techie stuff, even though it wasn't that techie at all. And now we can just go ahead and make sure you proofread it, of course, and then publish. All right, now let's click to the home page by clicking in the upper left. And we can see we got this nice little update post right here, so that'll at least tell people what's going on and they won't be too confused. So now that you've published an update post, which when people read it at the top of your new blog here should hopefully endear them to your blog even more because they understand your reasoning for moving to WordPress, it's time to go ahead and make our blog look more and more like the WordPress.com blog so that there's no confusion whatsoever. Fortunately for us, there's not that much work to do. Our blog on WordPress.com was pretty limited, and we can actually go back and check it out. Now, I know it's weird that we can go back and look at our WordPress.com blog, but the fact of the matter is, it lives at a different location. This website with the .wordpress.com in it is a different website than the website without the .wordpress.com in it. They're in totally different locations, and until we redirect the .wordpress.com version with the paid redirect over to the new site, then they're both going to be here. Now, it's actually a bad idea because duplicate content is not good for Google. So we're going to want to set up the blog features quickly and then set up that redirect so that there's only one version of our blog. In your case, you might have some more work to do, some more legwork. Maybe you need to create an image gallery, or you really want to put like this navigation menu in the middle of the page, or you really want to put a like box in the upper left corner floating over here. That's what the YouTube comments are for. I'm here to help you move any feature you want, or maybe you can find a theme that has things in place exactly how you like them. There are now thousands upon thousands of themes for you to choose. Most of them for free, unlike on WordPress.com where most of them are premium. So you really should ask me questions in the comments about how to create new features on your WordPress.org blog that look like your WordPress.com blog, or just look like something pretty you've always wanted to make. I'm one of those rare people that likes doing the legwork and hunting down answers and helping you make even the smallest little features come to life. But for now, we can just make our basic WordPress.com features come to life, like the like box, this little YouTube video, and so on and so forth. So let's do it. On our guide, we can cross off step 6 because we just imported content from WordPress.com into WordPress.org. Great job. And now we're going to go ahead and inspect with an eagle eye for free. So one of the first things I can think of here on our WordPress.com blog that we want are those social media buttons beneath the blog post, like the share this, the tweet, and the Google+. In WordPress.org, it doesn't come with that by default because you just get a basic blog install. However, by installing plugins, you can do just about anything. There are hundreds of different kinds of social media buttons you can install. To get one of them, let's click back to the dashboard. Now let's just click Plugins. And next click Add New. And I want you to do a search for Twitter, Facebook, Social, and hit Enter. Sometimes the search isn't quite what you wanted, and that might be because we got the name wrong. So I'm going to try TF Social, Share. And there we go. Right here in the middle is my favorite social media buttons plugin for WordPress. Super simple. It definitely works, and I used it on Dear Blogger to write blog posts that got hundreds and hundreds of likes. For example, this post right here. Those buttons are definitely working. Alright, so to add this plugin, just click Install Now and activate. And now let's hover on settings, and we're going to get this new little area for TF Social Share settings. So click that. And now it's time to decide where these social media buttons show up and which ones we want to use. So in our case, I just want to use Facebook, like, Twitter, not Stumble, not LinkedIn. And I want to show these buttons in these pages, just single posts and pages. Keep it really simple. Now we can choose how this little plugin looks and where it's located. So for position, I like above and below the post. I think that's really cool, with no border and no background color. Now we can just scroll down and save changes. This plugin also lets you float social media buttons to the left of the post, and you can do a couple other neat features like choose how far apart they are. Now when we go to the blog and we click on our blog post, like our ultimate guide on moving WordPress, we can see the social media buttons appear above the post and they appear below the post. And like I said, you can use those plugin settings to adjust the spacing in between them. Unfortunately, those social media shares did not carry over from the WordPress.com subdomain right here to the WordPress.org blog. So we can see the share for doesn't carry over to a share for on this same post that we migrated. Because I feel bad about that and because I care about your shares, if you send me any link you want to share or just post it in the YouTube comments, I'll send it out to our Dear Blogger Facebook page with like 3,000 or 4,000 fans, and I'll ask them to like it and comment so you can get those numbers up right away on your new blog. And you can share on that Facebook page too, because we have a great community and they understand how difficult and stressful migration is. Alright, now I want us to go back to plugins in our WordPress.org dashboard. Click back to the dashboard, click plugins, and I noticed when we installed TF Social Share right here that this list is kind of messy, so let's clean it up. First, we want to activate Akismet, which is our spam protector. We can also activate Hello Dolly. I'll get a nice little quote from the founders of WordPress up here. That's one of the oldest plugins ever, so pretty cool. We're going to save Jetpack for last because that'll actually help us bring over some more features that came from our WordPress.com blogs. And we're going to now deactivate Mojo. Alright, we're going to deactivate Opt-in Monster. And we can deactivate WP Forms Lite. Go back to plugins if it takes you to that page. Oops, I think I clicked settings, so deactivate. And they're like really needy, they need a reason, but we're not going to give them one. Alright, now you can just delete the plugins that you deactivated so they don't take up space on your new hosting space. Delete, delete, delete. And now our plugins library is looking a lot cleaner. Great job. We can also deactivate this one too. Google Analytics for WordPress. Because we're going to actually do Google Analytics the old-fashioned way by actually installing the real Google Analytics by Google. Delete. Okay. Alright, really nice guys. Now we have Akismet, Hello Dolly, Twitter, Facebook, Social Share, WordPress Importer, and Jetpack. So if your screen looks like mine, then your plugins are looking perfect. Lastly, we can activate Jetpack by WordPress.com and bring the power of WordPress.com to our self-hosted WordPress sites. So click Activate, and we're going to click Connect to WordPress.com. Approve. At the bottom, click Start with Free. We're not going to fall for any of that. And on this page, you can shop around and grab the recommended Jetpack features like sharing, subscriptions, Photon, and so on and so forth. And you can also activate them. However, that's an awful lot to give your site at once if you don't really have the time to play around with all of them at the moment. What I want to do is be a little more choosy for you guys and go to the Jetpack settings. So under Jetpack, just click Settings. Now in the Jetpack Writing tab, we can scroll down and we can activate those testimonials if you used them on WordPress.com. We can also do other important tasks. For example, in discussion, we can let readers use WordPress.com and so on accounts to comment. More freedom for accounts to comment generally means more comments, and you can change the comments headline as well if you'd like. Lastly, in traffic, you can get more traffic to your other posts by simply checking to show related content after posts. Let's also show that related header because we want to clearly separate, and sure, we'll use the visually striking layout. Couldn't hurt. Great job. That feels like enough changes in Jetpack right now, but when you have time to poke around and explore a little more, you're going to want to check out all the settings and optimize your site exactly how you want it. Let's make sure we go to the bottom and save it. Or maybe it just saved as we went along. It's even better. Alright, great job with Jetpack. Now let's go back to our site. And it's looking really good. Not a ton of changes, but Jetpack is going to allow a lot more to happen on this site. Next, I want to create that simple menu we had, the navigation menu on our WordPress.com blog. To set up a menu, you can just hover in the upper left corner and click Menus. What we're going to do now is use this default primary menu because it's got almost everything we want. We just want to have those testimonials in there too. Unfortunately, there's not a default page yet for testimonials, so at the moment, let's just choose the display location of top menu for our menu and click Save It. And now it'll appear on your home page once you choose that location. So if we click to the home page, we can see we have our menu and it's looking pretty good. Next, we can create a new page and we're going to use that page for our testimonials, but you could use it for anything you want, like services or our mission or popular blog posts or whatever you want. To create a new page, just hover on the plus new tab in the upper nav and click Page. And what we're going to do is just call this page Testimonials. And in the visual area, I'm going to write out bracket testimonials bracket, which is the short code for all the testimonials you have on your site. There are tons and tons of short codes you can use to put things like image sliders, accordions, contact forms, and more in your WordPress pages. So this is just one example. We can click Publish. And now we can view page. And it looks like our Oprah testimonial didn't migrate, and that's just because we didn't have Jetpack and this feature active when we migrated. So that's my fault. I should have recommended you install the Jetpack plugin before you migrate, and sorry about that. But now that we know that, we can do that in the future, and we can also just recreate the testimonial. But of course, what you can do is just export only the testimonials from your WordPress.com site, and then import again. So let's hover on New and click Testimonial. just going to Oprah and grab that content from our WordPress.com blog because it's still here living on the WordPress.com servers. We can just right click and save image as for Oprah or any image on the web really. This time we can spell her name right and we can just copy the testimonial. Great job. So that's really easy to just recreate some content. Just an example of some additional legwork you unfortunately might have to do on your new blog. But if you love WordPress as much as me, it's actually pretty fun and you always learn something in the process. Alright, so we're going to choose full size, insert Oprah back into that testimonial, and we're going to publish it. Now when we click to our dashboard, the testimonials page won't be in the menu. Alright, great job. To add a navigation tab to our menu, you can just come back to the upper button and click menus. And now we have that testimonials page created, so just check it, click add to menu. It will come in right there and you can reorder it or create a drop down if you'd like. Nest it under the right parent tab for a drop down, but we just want it as a main menu item. And save menu. And now you've added a new tab to our primary menu. And there it is. To make this testimonials page look normal, we're going to want to get that featured image back on the testimonial itself. So click on Oprah's name to open up the testimonial. Click Edit Testimonial at the top. And let's click Set Featured Image. Now just choose Oprah, click Set Featured Image, and update. So the testimonial itself looks pretty cool, but we're going to see on the testimonials page that there's just way too many social share buttons, which kind of reminds us to limit those things. So we can go back to the dashboard and we can get rid of a couple of those buttons, and you can always add them back if you feel like people need more chances to share your stuff or like it. So we can go back to Settings, TF Social Share, and we can actually just remove the buttons from pages and also just show them either above or below the post. I like above because it's above the fold and more people see that your posts are popular and are more likely to interact with it because they know that it's already a little bit popular. And save it. If you see this 500 internal error when you're making your new self-hosted WordPress.org blog, I know it's inconvenient, but it usually just means that HostGator is fixing some connection in between your old blog and your new blog. It's just one of those problems that takes care of itself. So we refresh our blog and we're back in business. Now let's click on Testimonials. Now let's come down and click on Testimonials. And this page is looking a lot more normal. Great job. If you're making some changes to your site when that 500 error came up, you might need to go back and redo the changes and resave it. Just a heads up. And sorry about that on behalf of HostGator. That stuff happens at every host, and I know personally that they're trying really hard on their end to make your blog work right now. And it usually just means they squashed some little bug on the internet for good. Let's click back to our homepage. Now let's learn how to make a blog sidebar on your new blog. So we can scroll down and we want to get rid of the default content and insert what we had on WordPress.com. The best way to do that is in Customize. So at the top, just click Customize. Alright, so this section looks really familiar like WordPress.com. We can just click Widgets. Now Blog Sidebar, and we're just going to open, remove all these little widgets that were by default in the sidebar. We don't want a default looking blog, we want an amazing, unique looking blog. So we'll just keep the search bar and save and publish. Alright, now to build our sidebar out, and in the future I know you're going to want to do this, you're going to want to put in like pieces of code from Facebook or Twitter if you want to insert like a Twitter timeline, or if you want to make your own custom advertisement, you're going to want just a blank text HTML area. And the best widget to insert some blank text is a new plugin. So we have to go out of Customize and we have to install a new plugin for this, which is pretty hard to find, but I definitely did backflips of happiness when I found it. So click back to the dashboard, click Plugins, Add New, search Plugins, and look up TinyMCE space black. I'm going to show you the most popular, most advanced visual editor in WordPress. It's just called Black Studio TinyMCE widget. Really cool, really fun, changed my life. So click Install Now and activate. Great job. So what this plugin will help you do is just write in any HTML or any text into your sidebar or any place on your blog that accepts widgets. If we hover on Appearance and click back to Customize, just another way of getting to Customize. Now I'm going to click Widgets and click Blog Sidebar, click Add a Widget, and we can see at the bottom we'll have this new visual editor that plugin gives us. When we click to open it, we get the exact tools from a blog post, so you can really get in depth with creating your own custom widgets. Maybe you just want to insert something like quote of the day and then say something amazing, like a quote from Matt Mullenweg, the founder of WordPress. That's really easy to do. Just find one on Google, go ahead and copy a quote that looks good. Unfortunately, Brainy Quote makes you like really click through them to hopefully share them. They want us to share them, but I'm just gonna like forcefully highlight this, copy it, and now we can come back to our blog and just paste it in. Look at that. They really want that share. Read more at. You just highlight, copy some text, and you get a link. Wow, the web is an aggressive place. Alright, but that's just how you would insert some text into your sidebar. So pretty cool. And you could even just remove the quote of the day part and make that a title, so it looks a little more fancy. Alright, on our WordPress.com blog, we also had this nice little follower accounts from WordPress.com. So this has little to no use to us anymore. We're not really going to gather followers on WordPress.com. We want like an upgraded version of followers that applies to WordPress.org in the big leagues. And the best free follower account I can think of is at FeedBurner. FeedBurner is a place where your blog becomes a digestible feed, and people follow you to read your blog posts in like really plain formatting. So when they get it in their email, it just shows your writing, your awesome writing, and they don't have to visit your whole blog if they don't want to. But as you might be able to tell, this is a really good way to build readership fast. People with large FeedBurner accounts are extremely influential bloggers, like Seth Godin, for example. So let's set up a FeedBurner following count to replace the WordPress follower count. To do that, just visit feedburner.com. Go ahead and type your new blog address in this box right here. So in our case, that would be not the WordPress.com address, it would be the WordPress.org address. Right here, just copy your domain name and paste it in. Super simple. And now click Next. And it's going to give us a link to our feed. We're going to click Next. And now anytime you want to send people the address to your feed or insert your feed somewhere, you just have to remember this link right here, which is http feedburner.com/the title of your blog. And if it doesn't give you any numbers or letters here, it means your blog is unique. That's just one little nice thing you can pat yourself on the back for. Alright, now let's click Next. Congrats, your FeedBurner feed is now live. Want to dress it up a little? No thanks for now. Click Next. Next. Very good. So FeedBurner gives you all these free tools. You can play with them later. But for now, let's just display how many FeedBurner followers we have now that everything's working at FeedBurner. We can click Publicize. And we can click Feed Count. And we just need to activate this service. So click Activate for the FeedBurner feed count. And it's going to give us this handy little HTML munch to paste in our WordPress.org sidebar. Alright, so you can just click anywhere in this window and highlight it and copy it. All right, and because I'm a little bit vain and I don't want to display that 0 readers count, I'm actually going to go back to Google FeedBurner, Google FeedBurner, and I'm going to click on a feed that actually has some feeds, some followers. This stuff gets confusing. And that would be my made to blog one. So we can just click the made to blog option, which is a upcoming course that I was going to make at some point explaining all about how to blog and, for people that were made to blog, which is paused for now. All right, and we're just going to click publicize, feed count, activate, grab this code. You can hit Command A, Command C, or Control A, Control C. And now just come back to our WordPress.org blog to insert the FeedBurner count in your sidebar. Just go back to Customize. And this is just like adding a quote or a piece of text to your sidebar. Just click Widgets, as you might have guessed, Blog Sidebar, add a widget, click Visual Editor, and now let's just go ahead and click Text because we're pasting in code. You want to be in the Text tab, and paste in that code from FeedBurner. Just give it a title. We can scroll down and check it out. So there it is. It's like trying to show up right now. We could just give it a title saying, join our feed to get new posts, and save and publish. Great job. Now when we X out, check out the site. You might have to refresh the blog a couple times, but now we get our awesome FeedBurner feed count. So now you can start adding readers to your feed and building with this amazing statistic that all the big blogs use to count and to show how popular their blog is. All right, let's scroll back up. So while we're focused on the sidebar, let's make sure to also add that Facebook page plugin so people can like your Facebook page right from your sidebar without even leaving your blog. All right, to do that, we're just going to want to Google Facebook page plugin. Super easy. Click on the link for page plugin. All right, so here's Facebook's example. Wouldn't it be nice if we had half that many likes? Maybe someday. And now we're just going to make sure to put our Facebook page URL in right here. You can change up the width, height, tabs, for example, and choose some other basic details, but the default option usually works for us. And then once you're ready, click Get Code. So on WordPress.org, it's a little bit more difficult to insert the Facebook page plugin just because you actually have your own website. WordPress isn't going to do the back end stuff for you. You have to actually insert this stuff in the right place. Unfortunately, it's not too hard, and I'm going to show you how to do it right now. First thing you want to do is copy this upper code section. You can just click once actually, and it'll highlight. Then you can right click, copy. Now we can go back to our WordPress.org blog, click to the dashboard, and click plugins. And we're going to add a new plugin. And this plugin is called Insert Headers and Footers, which is my favorite plugin at the moment for inserting code from other websites like Facebook or Google when you need that code to work on your website. Here it is, upper left by WP Beginner. Just click Install Now. WP Beginner is an amazing resource, really powerful WordPress tutorials, and they'll show you how to do basically anything that we don't cover here. So check them out. We're going to click Activate. But you can always ask us questions too, because I'll always be here. All right, and now once it's activated, we're going to see in Settings, you have another section. So that's kind of the process. When you want to do something on the site, there's usually a plugin for it. Find the right plugin, ask Greg, install the plugin, get new settings, click on the new settings for the plugin. And now in our case, all we need to do here is just paste in that Facebook code in the scripts in header box. And then save it. Great job. Now we need to go to the Customize area to insert some Facebook page plugin code. So hover on Appearance and click Customize. And we're going to actually insert the Facebook code that makes that like box appear. So click Widgets, Blog Sidebar, Add Widget, and as you might have guessed, we're going to get the visual editor because that's the best one for inserting code that you want to appear on your front end. Now just click in the second box on Facebook and copy, and back on WordPress, click to the text tab and paste. Alright, and it's going to work just like that. So that's how easy it is to insert this Facebook like box on a WordPress blog. We'll just finish it off with the title. So join us on Facebook, exclamation mark. That usually works. And you're all done here. You can just save and publish. Very cool. And we can see that our WordPress.org site is starting to look a lot more like the WordPress.com site. Alright everyone, to finish off our sidebar, I will show you how to insert a video from YouTube or Vimeo or anywhere else into your sidebar. And this also works in blog posts and pages. So you just need to first find the video. We can go to YouTube, and you can grab one of the short videos you've made or maybe one of your friends has made. Just open up the video. And then to put it on the blog, you want to come to the bottom down here, right above the description, click on Share, and then click Embed. And then just click over here and copy this iframe all the way from the first iframe to the second one. Just copy that. Alright, and so we're just grabbing my most recent how to make a blog tutorial, and then we're going to come back. Close some tabs, and now just click Add Widget, and we're going to grab our trusty visual editor, and just like for the Facebook like box, we just paste it in. I just pasted this code in the visual, which is wrong because then the text tab, which is how we want it to look, we want it to look like this, but if you paste it in visual, it gets all chopped up. So make sure to paste code in the text tab. Alright, there's our nice video, and we can just give it the same title that our WordPress.com blog had. Great job. Close and save and publish. And if you leave the screen open overnight like I did, you might need to just refresh the whole page. Reload. So in the first few days, as you create a blog, your web browser might get confused and not show your blog, like this white screen here. If that happens, you just need to delete your cache. So we can go to our settings now. I'm in Chrome, Google Chrome. Settings. And just scroll down, click Advanced. And now scroll down to the content settings where it says clear browsing data, which would be pretty similar on Internet Explorer or Firefox or Opera. And then just clear your browsing history and your cached images and files. Browsing history doesn't matter, but cached images and files does. And now when we visit our site, it should show us the right thing. Sometimes the web just gets a little bit overwhelmed as we're creating a lot and it's not sure what pages to show us. Alright guys, we got our site back by deleting the browser cache in Google Chrome here in our browser, and we're back live now. And it also helped to talk to HostGator's new live chat system. So they went through on their end and made sure there was no problems on your new self-hosted blog. And they're explaining to us what kproxy is if you need to look at your site outside your own network for testing. So that's pretty cool. Nice tool, kproxy.com. And they even pasted the link to our new blog post in and checked it out and read it on their end so that they know that this post can be viewed by them and by the whole world. I just want to ask if they made any magic happen on their end. Alright, so we're back up and let's start working away here. Oh, there we go. HostGator cleared the server cache and it worked after. John did that for us. Thanks so much, John. So that's cool. It's good to know HostGator's on your side to make site fixes. I can't stress enough how often weird things happen regardless of the host, and some people just complain more than others. For example, other hosts charge like a ton of money and just complain and yell, but at HostGator there's hardly ever any problems and less complaining. Everyone just helps each other because the web's not perfect, but it's pretty darn close to perfect in our little world over here. And if you're the kind of person that is easygoing, you'll be much better off and be really successful online, because sometimes things do go wrong, but you're going to learn how to fix them really quickly. So now we know what to do if you can't see your site in the browser and you just see a white page instead. All right, so you contact me and you contact HostGator and you delete your browser cache. Great job. All right, so we can open up our steps to migration here and just add a few notes to update our guide. All right, so we didn't get a coupon from Fat Wallet. We did try Retail Me Not, but the BigBonus coupon from HostGator was the only one that worked. We also have this installed to link, which is actually WP-admin for logins. So it's not, that's your domain name, but you want to have the WP-admin to log in. There we go. And these are the WordPress.org login details. All right, just want to make our notes look perfect here, because if we can't read our notes, then we don't really know who took them and we can't learn from them. So that's cool. We're on step 7 now for sure. We're inspecting our WordPress.org blog, comparing it to WordPress.com, but we're also kind of blending and merging into step 8, create your blog, which I hope is okay with everyone. I know you have a lot to do when you make a blog, so I wanted to show you all these steps as quick as possible to teach you WordPress.org. So these two steps, 7 and 8, are what we're working on now, and once our blog is totally up to par, we'll do the redirecting your .wordpress.com subdomain as our last step. So I hope you're enjoying it, and now we're going to proceed with a few more steps that you need to know on WordPress.org. Of course, if you want to share my latest WordPress tutorial like we did on your blog and share the knowledge of WordPress with the world, that'd be awesome. I'll be your blogging friend forever. All right, so thanks a ton in advance. You guys are great, especially for making it this far. And I want to show you now how to get our links looking good. So on the WordPress subdomain, which is still live because, again, this is hosted on WordPress.com. Our other site is hosted on HostGator. They can live at the same time. They are not mutually exclusive, whatever that means. Although for some reason we're not logged in. There we go, logged in. So we just want to show you that the links need to look a little bit different. So on WordPress.com, click to a post. We had the dates in the URL. So, 2017, 10/21, which you might want. Some websites still use the date, but right now on our WordPress.org blog, we have this really annoying index.php in there and then the date, and you definitely do not want the index.php. So how do we remove that? Well, we can go back to our dashboard, and we can come down to settings, hover on settings, and click permalinks. In permalinks, what I would recommend doing if I were you is just clicking post name, because that'll just make sure that keywords like your post title get in the link, and Google likes simple. It's easier for them to read your post. Additionally, if you include the date, that will automatically tell Google if your post is old, like from 2015 or something like that. You kind of label it as old. If you do want to use the date still after knowing that, that's fine. It won't have really bad effects on your blog, but for the most SEO friendly option, I would do post name and click save. Now when we check out the blog and we look at a blog post, those links will be nice and simple and SEO friendly for Google. All right, now to change the title of our blog where it says WordPress migration and the tagline, that's really easy. We're just kind of doing it in the order we feel like here. We can just go back to the dashboard. Let's see what we had on WordPress.com. We had migrate, and then we had your blog, your year, behold your glory. So to change that, just come to settings again and click on General. Alright, and that part's really easy to change. It's just site title and tagline. So we can grab the site title from WordPress.com and the tagline all at once. Command copy and come back and paste it in there. And then if we copy the tagline too, we can just hit Command or Control X, cut it. And so this tagline is like famous WordPress, but a million sites use this tagline. So we're going to use our own custom tagline. Very good. Looking more professional here already, and we can just save changes. Alright, great job guys. This general settings area is also where you can decide if anyone can register to your site. Maybe your site is a membership site. And you can do things like decide the new user default role, change the date format and posts, and other cool things. We can always come back later though, and you can always let me know any questions below in the YouTube comments. I don't think we need to have our title in all caps, so we can just change that. Alright, very cool guys. Before we leave general settings, I just want to walk you through what these other important sections mean in case you want to change them right now. The WordPress address URL and site address URL is where you would add the www if you wanted to your domain name, but you have to make sure you put them in both this location and this location. Do not leave it with just one of them as the www and then save it, because things will break. So if you want to add www to your blog, make sure to put it in both the WordPress address and the site address. Alright, but if you don't do that, then it will automatically redirect from the www to the shorter domain name, which I think is best for me. This is also where you enter your email address. So that's like for contact forms or for notifications when someone comments, like it says here, it will go to this email, and you want to make sure you have your best email in right there. So we're going to go to our homepage now. If you want to change WordPress fonts for your site title or your blog post, for example, unfortunately WordPress.org doesn't come with the WordPress.com font section like we see here, where we chose Open Sans for our site title. But there is a couple quick solutions, one of which includes Google Fonts. And when we see how to use them, we'll actually learn a lot more about the fonts you see on websites and how they work. So to change fonts, come back to WordPress.org and click to the dashboard. Now click Plugins, Add New, and we're going to search for a plugin called Site Origin CSS. Great, this is the right one here with the green icon. Click Install Now and activate. Great, now you've souped up your appearance section with a custom CSS tab. So we can click that. And from this window, just click on the I button, and it's going to inspect our site. So what we need to do now is just click on the right place to edit the font, like the site title. And now in font family, you should be able to write in the change you want, like Open Sans. Changing fonts through this Site Origin CSS plugin is really easy and free. You basically just have to think up a font and then write it in, and you can see what it looks like. The only downside is you might have an advanced font that it doesn't understand, and if you want to use one of those fonts, you'll have to do it the old-fashioned way with Google Fonts, where I've got a video on how to do that too, which I'll make sure to put in the video description below, so check that out. For now, I think any combination of Georgia would be good. Arial is nice, but a little bit too predominant, so why don't we just go with a nice Helvetica. To change the font of a different section, just scroll down and click where you want to change it, like on the blog post content. Write in your font in font family, and it should change before our very eyes. Awesome. Of course, you can also play around with tons of different styling combinations like italics, size, bolding or not bolding, which is called weight, and so on and so forth. Just make sure to click the check mark when you're done. Click that check mark and click Save CSS. And what happens is this plugin will write our own CSS, the language that tells WordPress how to look for us, so you don't have to do it yourself. But of course, you can read it and start to understand it and learn CSS if you'd like. Alright, last but not least, our WordPress.com blog had some stuff in the footer. So how do we change the footer and how do we change the copyright? Well, we can go to Customize again, and we can click Widgets, Footer 1 or Footer 2, and add a widget. And from here, it should be really easy just to add the basic widgets like recent posts, for example. Go back, add one to Footer 2, add widget. We could add a menu down there so that someone doesn't get lost if they're all the way at the bottom of your blog. Where is it? Menu. Custom menu. Perfect. Just select the menu you want. Like, for example, the primary or the social buttons. We could probably do both of them. And scroll down and see how that will appear. Alright. So if you want to make a title, you can just put title in the title bar so things will line up. And we can also go back and put some social media buttons in our footer 1 area. Add widget. I'm going to do a command find, which I always do when I'm lazy, and look up menu. There's menu. And now we can just put our social buttons down there as well. And save and publish, of course. We also have a complete tutorial on the channel on how to change the proudly powered by WordPress section and write in your own custom copyright section on WordPress. But because I know at least a few of you are going to want to change that right away, I'll show you how to do it. We got to leave customize, click X. Now click to the dashboard. Now hover on appearance and click editor. And I think personally you're ready to visit editor. This is the scary code section, but if you've made it this far in the tutorial, I'm confident that you're an advanced WordPress user and we can make some code changes. So from this section, you just need to find the right part of the code to edit, so the right theme file. In our case, I'm fairly sure that's the main index template. So let's click that. And now let's scroll down in it to the bottom, and it says PHP get footer. So there's actually a footer we need to find. There she is. So let's try clicking theme footer. Once you're in footer, you're going to want to hit Command A, Command Copy, or Control if you're using a PC, and go ahead and paste this file in a blank text editor. It's always a good idea to back up your WordPress theme files if you're making any changes. Just name it appropriately. Footer as of October 22nd, 2017. And now we can make our changes, and if they break, we'll have the original version to copy paste back in. Now back in your dashboard in the footer.php file, we can scroll down, and you want to just remove everything in between the div class equals wrap and this lower div, which closes the wrap. Alright, so we're going to create our own little, breakfast wrap over here. We can just highlight everything in there, which we've already backed up elsewhere, which actually includes all of this section I'm going to highlight, all the way down to the bottom div, like right there. And we're just going to go ahead and hit delete. Boom. So now we can write our custom footer within our little sausage, egg, and cheese wrap section over here. You can put in your own ingredients. So we're going to just do it, and a lot of other guides don't show us how to do this, so, there you go. We can create our own wrap. So you can write anything from subdued. So let's get a little more professional than subdued and write copyright 2017 Greg Narayan tutorials. Replace that with your business or your blog name. We can do a vertical bar and then maybe say all rights reserved so people don't rip us off. You can even go to the copyright symbol Wikipedia page through Google, click that link, and then copy the copyright symbol because it's just like a letter. And back in WordPress, paste that in right after the word copyright. Very cool, guys. You can also add in a link if you want. If you want to create a custom link, just follow me right here. I'm going to write out some anchor text, which is how to migrate WordPress To make a link, you just start where you want the link, on what text you want it, and write in an open bracket, a href equals quotation mark, and we can also write the close bracket right there. So you need that close bracket. Then goes your text that people can click, and then goes your open bracket / a close bracket to close the link. Now we just need to decide where that link goes, which will probably go to this video, I'd imagine. But for now, we can just write in the YouTube channel that I manage. You can just copy any link from your browser, copy, and then just paste that in right in between the two quotation marks. And that's how you create a link. If you want to make it open in a new tab, write target equals quotation mark _ blank quotation mark. And that's just how to write out a little custom HTML. The space there is good. All right, now update. We'll refresh our site, and we can see we have our own custom copyright. You can put in links or affiliate links to your theme. Maybe you run a premium theme or you want to recommend a product. This is totally okay to do that. And now you know how to make your own custom copyright. So pretty cool. If you want to make a permanent change in WordPress, you should know how to use a child theme for this one. You would basically just paste everything we wrote right now into a child theme with the footer.php file inside that child theme. And that would overwrite your existing footer.php file in your theme. All right, so that's what WordPress recommends, because then when you update your site, this won't get erased or overwritten. Of course, we have a video for that, so I'll put how to create child themes in the description below, and that's a good idea to learn how to do too on your own time. Create a child theme, because this will get overwritten when you update your theme. Alright guys, our WordPress.org blog is now officially done. We've made all the changes we want and can launch it to the world, and we learned how to add a few new cool features like the feed burner readers counter, some widgets in the sidebar, and some other cool features that you might not have known otherwise, like how to make a custom footer. So I think our blog looks really good. I'm ready to show it off to the world. Let's pull up our WordPress.com blog side by side so that we can just compare them. Alright, and I purposely left it open and not migrated so far so that we can just compare them and see the work we've done. Alright, so on the WordPress.com blog, hosted at WordPress.com and with the subdomain, that's what it looks like. And we can see on the WordPress.org blog, we got the same look going on. So we got header image, title, navigation menu, header image, title, navigation menu, and then blog posts, footer with the recent post, navigation, social, and copyright. And then over here we got blog posts, one new post, the update post. Alright, blog posts, and custom footer copyright. If you want to put in social media buttons in the footer, just let me know with a quick comment and I'll show you the best plugin for that. Then our sidebars also look pretty similar. We got search bar on WordPress.com, Facebook box, follow count, and video. On WordPress.org, search box, quote, counter, Facebook, like box, and video. Very good. So it's always sad to go, but I think you now have the tools to make your WordPress.org blog a beautiful and cozy environment for all your readers, and a place overall where you can grow and blog for a business without any sort of limits. I know you're going to love it because I've found it to be an amazing experience from the day I joined WordPress.org too. To set up the redirect, you just need to go to Google and look up WordPress.com redirect. Click on the site redirect link, and we're just going to use this resource article because it's actually kind of hard to find the right screen. So we just need to click on where it says from this screen, and it's going to take us to the redirect portal. We're going to choose our WordPress.com subdomain. Next, we're going to enter a domain name to redirect it to, which is our new WordPress.org link without the .wordpress.com. Copy that, paste that in, and we're going to click Go. And also, before you do this, you can always turn off the redirect if you want to move back to WordPress.com, or if you just don't want to continue paying that $13 a year. It is annoying, but I think it's worth it if you put a lot of work into the .wordpress.com blog, especially if you have a lot of Google traffic. This will just make all those links go to the right place. All right, so let's click Go and let's do it. Final step. All right, so you might need to refresh that page. All right. And of course, you can just enter in your credit card name, number, and so on and so forth, and then click to complete that purchase. I wish there were a free way to redirect WordPress.com to WordPress.org. I'll keep looking for one, and if I ever find one, I'll let you guys know right away with the new video. If you have any problems redirecting, if your blog posts aren't going to the right place, let me know as well. You might need to just go back to WordPress.org, click to the dashboard, hover on settings and click permalinks, and just choose that permalink setting with the day and name in it, because WordPress.com uses those dates and you want the links to match up. I don't think you'll have any problems, but if you do, that's one quick fix. For now, we're going to stick with post name though, because it's the most Google friendly. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to move your blog from WordPress.com to WordPress.org, how to migrate it, how to convert it, whatever you want to call it. WordPress.com is an amazing site, and I'm really glad you could get started there. But now you're even more powerful and you know how to use WordPress.org, like thousands of famous blogs out there where the blogger in charge blogs for an amazing living. Alright, so that's that for the tutorial. Let me know any questions below in the comments. I help out every morning and every evening. Additionally, if you could please hit the thumbs up button, that'd be awesome. It takes about 1.4 seconds to do that, I've learned, and it really helps me because it shows YouTube that the video is worth something, not worth nothing, and it helps reach more people and help more people learn how to make a blog with WordPress and how to migrate properly. If you feel like doing any of those things, you'll have a blogging friend forever in me. Thanks so much, and also just thanks for watching and for sticking with us, because I love making these tutorials for everyone. You can now officially say goodbye to WordPress.com, and I hope you enjoy your stay at WordPress.org. For many of us, we never leave, and we're happy to welcome you to the WordPress.org community. Alright guys, thanks for watching. This tutorial is donezo. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.